Ni hao, this is Team Shanghai and we will be presenting on Chinese communications and internet. Enjoy!
In this video, we will cover various aspects of the Chinese internet. The internet is very vast, so we decided to stick to these concepts: search engines, social media, online shopping, cyber attacks, online payment, and censorship. In China, foreign search engines are inaccessible. So for example, a Chinese citizen cannot use Bing or Google without the use of a VPN. Instead, they have domestic alternatives. The top 5 search engines are Baidu, Sugo, Haosu, Shenma, and Youdao. Baidu is the largest search engine in China with over 75% of China's search engine market share. 94% of its users are Chinese. Other users hail from other parts of the world such as Japan and the United States. It has over 222 million active users per day. Like Google, Baidu offers other tertiary services such as maps. The name Baidu means countless times or 100 times in Chinese. Sugo is the second largest search engine with 15% of the market share and 695 million users per month. While Sugo is not as large as Baidu, it's leading the way with voice-activated searches with 802 million voice requests per day. Sugo is the only search engine in China that can search for public accounts on WeChat. Social media has become a large part of Chinese people's everyday lives. On social media sites like Weibo, Renren, and Youku, people access news, communicate with each other, post pictures and videos, and organize for various social causes. Social media has irrevocably changed Chinese online culture. In an interview, online influencers like Emily Chi explain how social media has had an impact on Chinese people both online and off. Emily explains how social media has changed media consumption, online marketing, and even beauty standards. Online influencers like Emily Chi, who manage to garner a large audience, are able to make money off of their content through monetization and sponsorship by brands and get the support of many adoring fans. But as Emily notes, it's not all roses and sunshine. Since social media influencers like Emily mostly derive their content through their real everyday lives, fans may feel entitled to know, comment, and speculate on private and intimate details on their lives. For example, as Emily notes, a beauty male influencer named Austin Lee was criticized harshly when a video of him smoking a cigarette was leaked. On top of intrusive fans, social media influencers can also receive harsh cyberbullying on sites like Weibo. Social media has massive marketing potential. Chinese brands have taken note of this, and 72% of companies have invested in online marketing and pay massive amounts of money to insert their ads into the algorithm. To advertise, brands often use catchy titles, bold graphics, and familiar faces such as online social media influencers. A popular style used by marketers is the ins feng. This aesthetic centers around clean, refreshing, fashionable, and minimalistic styles. It often includes greenery, English words, and marble print. Anything with this term in its description is associated with being expensive and good quality. The Chinese standard of beauty has stayed the same for a long time. Usually, to be considered beautiful, one would require a small, round face, pale skin, a slim figure, and double eyelids. An example of this is the first love face. Having this face means having large almond-shaped eyes, double eyelids that are not too wide, wild, thick eyebrows, tender lips, and a youthful and childlike expression. On the opposite side of the spectrum, a shoehorn face is considered to be the most unattractive. To have this face means having a very large chin that juts out and a flat nose. On the negative side, social media has encouraged heavy photo doctoring with tools such as Photoshop and filters, which holds people to an unrealistic and unattainable standard of beauty. Social media has also brought about crazy beauty challenges which can leave people, especially young people who are still growing, feeling unattractive and self-conscious about their bodies. An example of this is the A4 paper challenge.
This gives new meaning to the term paper thin. You start with a sheet of standard A4 printing paper that measures about 8.27 inches wide and 11.69 inches tall, and you hold it in front of your waist, and if your waist disappears and all you can see is your hip and torso, then congrats, you are beautiful.
Social media has had unconventional ways to promote a healthier standard of beauty. An example of this is the virtual influencer Angie. Angie was created by Jessie Zhang, who wanted to play around with imperfections and show that imperfections can also be beautiful. Angie is often seen having acne and acne scars and even teeth and large thighs. Unlike other influencers, she doesn't exude wealth with designer clothing and cars, but has a more toned down air to her. She's often seen wearing white tees and drinking Coca-Colas. Angie has amassed a following of over 200,000 followers on Douyin. Real life influencers haven't been left behind. More and more plus-size influencers have begun popping up and sharing makeup tips and fashion advice. Fighting against the skinny beauty standards, brands have also contributed to this, like Newai with its Nobody is Nobody campaign and accompanying documentary following the experience of 6 women and their experiences with the strict and stringent Chinese beauty standards.
When it comes to online shopping, China internet has transformed the daily life of the people there. People shop whenever they want, for whatever they want, and have it express delivered at minimum costs, sometimes in a matter of hours. From luxury cars to online courses or even pet grooming services, the choice is inexhaustible. So, advanced logistics network utilizing big data, cloud computing, smart robots, and drone-based delivery ensure speedy delivery services to almost anywhere in China. Traditional shopping can be tedious, time-consuming, and hectic in a hectic country plagued by traffic jams. With a growing percentage of Chinese people enjoying increased spending power, more and more people are doing the shopping online, which offers greater ease and convenience, especially for business urbanites. Geographical distance too is no longer a barrier. Easy to use mobile apps and payment systems have simplified and fueled the growth of online shopping. Online retail, or e-tail, is not only embraced by young, tech-savvy millennials, but also by older generations. The number over the 60s actively purchasing goods and services online is expected to exceed 255 million by 2020. Wow. Home of the world's biggest online shopping festival is China. Singles Day takes place every year on November 11th. Originally launched by e-commerce giant Alibaba, the festival has been adopted by most other retailers. Last year's sale is on this one day exceeded the combined online sales of Black Friday and Cyber Monday in the US. In fact, the Alibaba Group set a new world e-commerce record last year by generating 25 billion euros in sales in just 24 hours. That broke the previous year's record by 27%. Clearly, e-commerce in China is such a huge platform. It would be amazing if our logistics could run in the same efficient manner. Such systems implemented in Africa would ensure that even to us, lack of knowledge or inaccessibility are not barriers to getting the most authentic goods of our choice. A cyber attack is an attempt to disable computers, steal data, or breach computer systems to launch additional attacks. So cyber criminals use different methods to launch a cyber attack, which includes malware, phishing, ransomware, man-in-the-middle attack, etc. When it comes to cyber attacks, China is often the alleged bully. Earlier this year, the UK, US, EU have accused China of carrying out a major cyber attack. So the attack targeted Microsoft Exchange servers, affecting at least 30,000 organizations globally. The Western security services believe it signals a shift from a targeted espionage campaign to a smash and grab raid, leading to concerns about the Chinese cyber behavior, that are constantly escalating. The Chinese Ministry of State Security has also been accused of a wider espionage activity and a broader pattern of reckless behavior. China previously denied the allegations of hacking and says it opposes all forms of cybercrime. The unified call-out of Beijing shows the gravity with which this case has been taken. So Western intelligence officials say aspects are marked more seriously than they have ever seen before. Yeah. So China's state-sponsored hacking is at record levels, according to experts. Beijing being accused of engaging in a form of low-level warfare that is escalating despite the US, British, and other political efforts to bring it to a halt. China's press in the digital industry does not make these accusations any easier. Wow. So China cyber attacks is generally a very interesting topic to explore, but because of time constraints, we'll end it at there.
The method of directly paying by online banking is required to be able to make online banking payments after opening online banking and can realize online payment of Union Pay, online payment by credit card, and so on. This payment method is directly paid from the bank card. The third-party payment itself integrates multiple payment methods, and the process is as follows. So number 1, recharge the money in online banking to a third party. Number 2, pay by third-party deposit when the user pays. And number 3, the fee is charged for withdrawal. Third-party payment methods are diverse, including mobile payments and fixed-line payments. The most commonly used third-party payment is Alipay, Tenpay, Huanzun, ePro, online banking, and as an independent online merchant or a website with payment services. The most common choices are nothing more than Alipay, Huanzun payments, ePro payment, Fast Money, those 4. So the Golden Shield project was proposed to the State Council by Premier Zhu Rongji in 1993. As a massive surveillance and content control system, it was launched in November of 2000 and became known as the Great Firewall of China. The apparatus of China's internet control is considered more extensive and more advanced than in any other country in the world. The government authorities not only block website content, but also monitor the internet access of individuals. Such measures have attracted the derisive name, the Great Firewall of China. However, there are some methods of circumventing the censorship by using proxy services outside the firewall. The users may circumvent all of the censorship and monitoring of the Great Firewall if they have a secure VPN or SSH connection method to a computer outside mainland China. Disruptions of VPN services have been reported, and many of the free or popular services are now blocked. On 29th July of 2017, Apple complied with an order from the Chinese government to remove all VPN apps from its App Store that were not pre-approved by the government. Different methods are now used to block certain websites or pages, including DNS poisoning, blocking access to IPs, analyzing and filtering URLs, inspecting filter packets, and resetting connections. So that's it for online payment as well as censorship.
大家好，我叫 Rehema.
大家好，我叫 Raymond.
Okay. So communications in China were established rapidly in the early 1950s. By 1952, the principal telecommunications network centered on Beijing, and links to all large cities had finally been established. Work got quickly underway to repair, renovate, and expand the system, and from 1956, telecommunication routes were extended more rapidly. To increase the efficiency of the communication system, the same lines were used for both telegraphic and telephone service, while teletype and television broadcasting services were also added. Growth in telecommunications halted with the general economic collapse after the Great Leap Forward, that's from 1958 to 1960, but revived in the 1960s after telephone network was expanded and improved equipment was introduced, including imports of Western plants and equipment.
By 1963, telephone wire had been laid from Beijing to all capitals of all provinces, autonomous regions, and large cities, while in turn, provincial capitals and autonomous regions were connected to the administrative seats of the counties, smaller municipalities, and larger market towns. Telecommunications by telegraph or telephone mainly used wire. By the 1970s, however, radio communications equipment were increasingly used and began to replace wire lines. Microwave and satellite transmissions were soon introduced and have now become common. China launched its first television broadcast satellite in the year 1986. China was linked to the international telecommunications network by the installation of all communication satellite ground stations and the construction of coaxial cables linking Guangdong province with Hong Kong and Macau. Provincial level units and municipalities rapidly expanded local telephone and wire broadcasting networks.
Expansion and modernization of the telecommunications system continued throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s, giving particular emphasis to the production of radio and television sets and expanded broadcasting capabilities. China is the largest user of largest voice calling over the Internet of Voice over Internet Protocol, that is VoIP, services with 51 million Tom Skype users as of November 2007.
Although China has seen remarkable achievements in its telecommunication industry, there are some also shortcomings. Current telecommunications consumptions exhibit significant geographical differences. This has probably impeded the overall advancement of China's telecommunication industry. In order to reduce the disparity in telecommunications consumption, it is suggested that China further extend its universal service to areas which lack basic telecommunication services. In a competitive environment, it is widely accepted in economic theory that a competitively neutral mechanism should be implemented for universal services, which means that no firms should benefit or suffer relative to others in the industry. Thus, China should establish a universal fund as the financing resource and choose the providers of the universal service through auctions. Moreover, controversies about the profitable mobile telephone sector, including the choice of standards, the number of licenses for the 3G technology, and the timing of the release, need to be resolved carefully.
So the following companies are telecommunication companies in China, starting from the largest. We have China Telecommunication Corporation, Guangdong Rising Asset Management, JP Morgan Chase, BlackRock, the Bank of New York Mellon, Templeton Global Advisors, and GIC Private Limited.
Thank you for listening to our presentation on telecommunications in China. We hope you enjoyed it. 谢谢.
谢谢.
再见.
再见.
We hope you've learnt a lot. It's been fun sharing the facts we've found. Until next time.